Come on.
We're there.
We're there.
We are live.
We be live.
All right, Daniel. Get our chat going. Hello, everybody. It's Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead.
Yeah, you gotta love us technology here. I mean,
if y'all hear him before we ever say hello, I'm pretty sure y'all probably hearing him talk the whole time. Sometimes he can be pretty funny. Y'all just have to forgive him if he says something stupid.
Yeah, that's whole part of it to me.
Yeah, I see we've got a lot in the chat already. I don't know how many, but we got.
I had to hunt up everything here because everything,
when
you click one thing, the other thing goes away. I mean, so it's like, okay.
The deal is, I can't see that chat as well for some reason. It's like all blurry and it shouldn't be.
Well, it looks perfectly crystal clear to me.
Is it? All right, see if I get like this. Maybe it's because of the way it's sit. I don't know. I can tell I'm going to have an issue tonight.
I don't know. I
okay,
mean, I'm sitting way back here, and it looks perfectly clear. I'm like right here. It looks perfectly clear.
Well, I've got new glasses, and I should be able to read that.
It's all these carrots I'm eating. My eyes are just really, really good.
My glasses, I should be able to read that, and it's blurry. Now, when I get like this, I can see it fine.
Well, then maybe that's where you need to be.
I can't sit up here all night like that.
Well, you can slide your chair forward.
Well, let's just go for it, y'all.
Okay.
Enough about us.
Enough about us and looking at the screen, trying to figure out what everybody's saying.
I really promise you, that's driving me crazy.
I really wish I could be a fly on the wall when Danny gets on a rant. Look, I can get wound up. You know? I actually enjoy getting wound up because what it does is it makes me miss my days of construction.
We did not get any snow. Somebody's asking.
No, we got no snow.
No sleet.
No sleet. Very little rain. I mean, I think we got 3/8 of an inch of rain, which to us is nothing.
I'm wondering if she got my things at the wrong angle. I'm looking at it because I'm usually sitting close. I got crazy eyes. Yes, I do. I don't know what it is. I've got trifocals. And I'm wondering, did she get the lines off from what I'm used to? Because she was measuring for lines. And I've been seeing just fine with everything as long as I'm up close. But this is messing with me that it's a little bit weird. Okay, we'll go for it.
Well, you can either do this or you can do this.
If I do this, I can't see. It's very blurry. If I do that, it's blurry. If I do this, it's blurry. It is not good anyways. Something's off.
Well,
we're going back to the eye doctor, and I'm going to tell him he's got something off. I ain't lying. Something's got to be off.
Okay.
For seeing this far off, I should be able to see, right?
You should be able to see at any distance. I mean, that's the whole...
Okay.
As much as them glasses cost...
I should be able to see the moon.
You should be able to see...
I should be able to see the moon from here.
Without it even being up. I mean,
oh, y'all.
Yeah.
That's all right. Oh, Lord. So,
oh, well.
We want to
anyway, this here, guys. Let me find mine. I got to get in the screen here. Oh, I got mine covered up. There we go. Look at this. Ta-da!
We just did this like
30 minutes 30 minutes ago, we actually made this. And it is...
That's my first taste. I didn't even taste it a while ago.
The other lady had a good comment. Go put your old glasses on.
I may have to. Let me do that and see if it makes any difference.
The distance looking at the computer is totally different, Wanda.
I know.
Well, while Miss Wanda's gone to find her eyes, I have absolutely no clue what she put up on here tonight. But I can tell you today... Actually, the last 2 days, if you follow us on Instagram, I have spent the last 2 days hand grinding our corn meal and stuff, making cornmeal, corn flour, and grits. I have spent the last 2 days doing it. I actually finished today.
Y'all, I'm sorry. This is driving me crazy. I can read it. They're really decent. but it still is kind of blurry. So, but it's better. I don't know what it is. Something is different. And it may be my eyes are tired. Very tired. I mean, I can see what it says. It's not that I can't, but it was just looking a touch blurry from a distance. Like here, I have to get up. And I'm used to sitting at the computer screen. I'm done with that. Okay.
Are we about finished?
I'm just not going to be able to read any of the comments.
Can collards survive the snow? Mr. Doug wants to know.
In our high tunnel again.
I really don't imagine they'll survive the snow.
Now, in the high tunnel, they still
Now, in the high tunnel, they probably all right. Now, I'll tell you this. Kale, it might, because you know what? Our kale has survived, and it was froze solid this morning. You could break it like ice.
And it was okay a while ago?
I checked it a while ago. It's perfectly fine.
Isn't that weird?
That's just totally weird, you know?
Some things will and some won't. I've seen a lot of people lost a lot of their greens, though. So,
what is it we're drinking, they want to know?
Oh, you never did tell them?
No, I didn't tell them. Jan told them. I saw Jan tell them. But, you know, this is Jesus' drink right here. This is what Jesus did at the wedding.
No, he didn't. It says he turned it into wine. Ours ain't wine.
The word wine in the Bible is a word, Hebrew word for grape juice.
Okay, whatever.
Right.
This is grape juice.
Oh, man, is this going to be one of them nights? I can tell already. Okay.
Explain what we
Moving forward.
Oh, I'm so tired, y'all. Look, this man needs a job. Sitting in the house.
I had a job I just told him the last 2 days I've had a job grinding cornmeal, corn flour, and grits. And then a while ago,
juice.
She looked at me a while ago because we took the muscadines. This got took to the butcher, okay? And when we
gotta know who this is too.
Okay, this is our pig.
I got you.
Okay, we have two pigs. One was named this and one was named that. Now, you can talk to her about that because I don't know who this or that was, either one. But I still didn't know which pig that was.
This went.
When we put them in the trailer, she said, oh, this went in the trailer. I'm like, I had no clue which pig was which. I just knew there was this and that. But anyway, this is gone to the butcher. And we have to have room in the freezer to make sure we have him in there because he's probably a 200-pound pig. So we decided to take the muscadines.
Thank you, Blue Wolf.
We took the muscadines out this morning. We took the cornmeal out yesterday morning. And we said, well, we take the muscadines out.
No, the cornmeal's been out a couple of days before that.
Well, true. They had the room temperature.
Yeah.
But we had to make the muscadines thaw out because they were frozen before I could squeeze them. And about 5 o'clock this evening, I told her, I said, you know, they might be thawed out enough to squeeze. And she said, nope, they're not. And we had them by the wood heater trying to thaw them out.
They were still frozen.
And they were still frozen.
So this ain't wine, believe me, because it just got squeezed. No. Yes, I'm very tired. And when I get tired, I go laughing, especially when he says something stupid.
But anyway.
But this went to the butcher.
Yeah, this went to the butcher. We took
We made cornmeal.
Took all of our cornmeal out of the freezer. We made cornmeal, corn flour, grits. And then we had some muscadines left in there where we need to get them out. So we took them out, thawed them out. And she looked at me a while ago and she says, you've got an hour and a half.
No, I said, yeah, when you started.
Yeah, when I started squeezing muscadines. She says, you got an hour and a half to make this happen. I said, all right, I think I can do it. You know, so...
And I went in there after a while and I said, okay. I said, we've got to go live in less than an hour. He said, no, we've got more than an hour. And he looked at his watch. He said, we got 3 minutes more.
I got hour and 3 minutes. I don't have an hour. I got an hour and 3 minutes.
I said,
but
whatever.
Needless to say, we actually finished squeezing this probably, 30 minutes ago?
Maybe. We had to drain it.
We had to strain it. And then we had to put it in the refrigerator, let it sit overnight before we actually put it in the freezer to freeze it. So,
yeah. Anyway.
Lori says she thinks this juice has been fermented.
It ain't had time since this evening. We just made juice like 30 minutes ago.
Oh.
Anyways.
Laura says you guys are overworking yourselves. I think you're just slap happy.
That's true.
That is probably true.
Look, my thought is he needs a job. With a bum knee, he's been having to sit in the house a lot. He can't do what he wants to do. So he invents these things that need to be done, and he says, we need to do this.
Well, the first one was pulling carrots.
Yeah, we have had to pull carrots.
Yeah, we pull
and
carrots.
Put carrots up.
But we didn't grind the cornmeal. I ground the cornmeal for 2 days, sitting there with my arm going round and around and around. I probably could. I bet I could box like heck right now. I mean, after boy, I probably got, you know. I mean, I used to back when I took martial arts. I could punch 600 pounds of pressure.
You stop. I ain't never gonna get my eyes clear.
You know, in a short distance, I could punch 600 pounds of pressure when I was younger. And so now, you know,
really think you want to try it?
I don't know if I could. I don't know how much pressure I have anymore. You know, I know one thing: the cornmeal thing like to wore me out though. It did.
Yeah, everything that he's thought of this week.
What is muscadines? I've never heard of it. Oh my word, Joan. Oh, scuppernongs. Have you heard of scuppernongs?
It's just fun to say.
It's a wild
grape.
Yeah, I guess that. About to wait.
Anyway, all week I've had things I needed to be doing, and usually he's outside doing something, and I can do my stuff. Guess what? No.
Well, I can't go outside because I was asleep on the couch the other night, and no, I don't have to sleep on the couch, but it's because we are so cold here. I sleep on the couch because
and his leg.
My leg
He's been sleeping on the couch.
And the wood heater is right beside the couch, and I can get up and put wood in the wood heater at night to keep the house warm because we don't use the unit. Well, sleeping the other night, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I got cold or what happened, but I woke up in a fetal position. And when I went to straighten my leg out, it popped. And when it popped, it was bad. I went into instant pain. And I couldn't stand on it, and I hadn't been able to walk on it now for 2 days.
And it's driving you crazy.
And it's driving me nuts.
Now this thing, I guess this is meniscus. It's popping in and out. So it'll pop, and he can't walk for about a day, and then it'll pop, and he can walk a day. So we've been doing this for almost 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks now.
We've made one trip to the emergency room and one to the doctor's office. And the next thing is... he's going to be doing an MRI probably in the next week or two, according to when they can schedule it. Yeah.
Our doctor told us if it didn't get better, he checked me and he said, it looks just like a bad sprain to me. He said, but he said, if you want an MRI, then we'll schedule it. And I told him, I said, well, let me go a few more days. I said, and then we'll talk about it. And all of a sudden I come home and somebody on here, I was looking at the comments. Let me say this. I was looking at the comments on one of our videos, and somebody told me, said, Mr. Danny, I just prayed for you, and I don't remember who it was. And God is my witness on this. I was sitting in the chair, and Miss Wanda will tell you, I'm telling you the truth. When I sit down in that chair, my leg was in so much pain that I couldn't stand on it. And I got up out of that chair to do something.
After reading that comment. And I told Wanda, I said, something just happened. She says, what do you mean? I told her, I said, my leg has no pain. And I dropped my cane, and I walked on it with no pain until I went to sleep last night. And 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. And I woke up and it popped whenever I straightened my leg out. And now it's hurting again. So whoever it was that prayed for me, I wish you would pray again. Because there's somebody out there that reaches the throne of heaven. You know, I mean,
Mr. John said it sounds like a torn meniscus, but y'all, he twisted it getting out of the truck when we were taking this off.
Oh, that was a bad day.
He was able to walk. We got this in the trailer, and we were shutting the trailer door. I was behind the trailer. He had backed it up a little bit. And when he went to get out, he caught his leg and it twisted. and it went into immediate pain.
Yeah, it twisted my leg bad.
7:30 in the morning. We're
on our way to the butcher's.
And he's standing there going, I can't move.
I said, I can't move. I can't do nothing. I can't put no pressure on my leg because my truck is a quad cab 4-wheel drive, and it's kind of tall. And to get out of it, you kind of got to slide down to get out of it. And when I slid down, the door started closing, and it caught my right foot, and it twisted my leg backwards and twisted it around sideways, and it popped. And when it did, I was just screaming because it was like 30 degrees outside. It was so cold. And I had my coveralls and all on. I couldn't get my coveralls off. I didn't have my walking stick with me. Nothing.
Well, I was behind the trailers that morning trying to shut the gate because this had went up and he had closed the middle gate and he was pulling the trailer up and I was going to shut the final gate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the process of shutting it, and he hollers when he gets out, and I'm like, what? And I said, I can't get the gate to close. And he says, all you got to do is hook it. I sat there for a few minutes, and he was going, what is going on?
I'm like,
how come you can't hook it? And I said, I don't know. And the way it hooks, I was trying to get the bottom through something there, and it wouldn't go. And what it was, you turn the top and hook it, and he's saying, do I need to come back there?
I said, I can't come back there. I don't have a walking stick with me. I said, work with me, woman. Work with me.
And I was laughing. I started laughing. I said, I can't figure this out. And I said, hold on. I said, give me a minute. He said, do I have to stumble back there? And I said, no, let me figure it out. Let me just work through this process. And so I kept looking at it. And I kept twisting it, and then I finally saw the top. And I said, wait, I got it. It all happened in about a minute and a half, but it seemed like forever for both of us.
Oh, Billy, we got one pig left in the pen, and let me tell you something. This is what's really weird. Both of those pigs were pretty close to the same size. The one that's in the pen was a little bit bigger than the one we took off. I looked today. It's been 4 days since we hauled this off to the butcher. The one that's left, that pig probably goes over 300 pounds now. He's headed toward 400 pounds easy. He's as big as one of our calves, and his legs just ain't as long, but he's as big, and he's getting bigger fast. And I told Wanda, I said, he won't go in a trailer. You can forget that. He will not go in a cattle trailer. So he's going to have to be done here, and I don't know how in the world I'm going to make that happen. This creature he's taller than the panels on the side of the hog pen. The only reason he stays in the pen is because he wants to. He don't have to. I mean, he could go over it and come right out of it because he sticks his head over it.
Yeah, that's very smart. We need a Billy.
Yeah,
we need a Billy.
I was like, man.
Okay, so we got a subject here. I done forgot what all we did. Oh, we had somebody asked about living in the South, especially here in the Deep South where we're 30 miles from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Our area is unique, to say the least. They wanted to know how we survive the heat that gets really hot and humid during the summer, the humidity, how we keep things from molding and mildewing, and all the bugs that we have to deal with. And so I told Danny, I said, why not talk about it tonight? Because we get all the time people telling us, y'all need to do, if y'all would do this, if you do that, and we sit back and go, come to the Deep South. It doesn't work, and we get numerous people telling us all the time what we need to do, and they need to come to the South. So we thought we would explain a little bit about the Deep South.
Are you going to render some lard?
Yes, a lot of lard.
We're going to render a lot of lard.
We're going to make bacon and sausage.
We're going to make bacon, sausage, and we're going to render lard. And we might even make some cracklings.
We might. Okay.
The front end loader should lift the rooters process high. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. The problem is I can't shoot the pig and get in the pen and cut his throat in less than 10 seconds. It's just not possible. And he's got to be bled out, when you kill him. That's my problem. That's what I'm running into.
Yeah, okay, so talking about the South, Danny and I live in a spot, and we kind of think it's really unique. It can be very crazy, but it's unique. We're enough from the Gulf Coast that we still get all this coastal humidity. And when somebody says, oh, we have humidity, I don't think they understand what kind of humidity we have.
No. I mean, let me put it to you this way. We got up this morning, and it was 22 degrees this morning when we got up, with 85% humidity, and the wind was blowing. You walk out that door, and it's colder. Now, I lived in Connecticut up there for a while. It's colder than 10 below zero up there. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Up there at 20 degrees outside, I'm walking around in a t-shirt and snow all over the ground everywhere. Down here, you 20 degrees and the wind's blowing, you bundled up, look like somebody fixing to go to
Looks like we're from Canada.
Look like you're from upper state Canada somewhere up there.
Yeah. It's the humidity, it makes it so much different. Yeah. I had an aunt years ago. She moved to Arizona and lived in Arizona for 20 plus years. And every summer when she would come home, now she was raised here in Mississippi, in the southern part of Mississippi, about, an hour from here.
Yeah.
And she would come back home once a year. And when she would get here, she would just about go, oh my gosh, how do y'all stand? And she lived in 110 to 115, 118 degree temperatures in Phoenix. And she'd get here and it would be in the 80s. And she couldn't breathe. And she was sweating up a storm and she was burning up. And I'm like, how in the world do you live in 115 degree weather? Hers was a dry heat and it didn't feel like that. Here, if it gets 90 and the humidity's up and it's over 100, you feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
It's just different. What you reading?
Secret Pepper. I was thinking, he said, I lived in the South my whole life. The only thing moldy is my mother-in-law.
Well, one of the things they wanted to know how we keep things from molding, like our clothes and all this stuff. Well, in the house, our house here has central air and heat. Usually, as long as you've got air moving, it doesn't mold and mildew. But you shut a place up, like you go on vacation or you leave for a month or so and leave it shut up, and then you've got to air it out. It starts smelling a little bit. But like if someone passes and you shut their house up and you leave it shut up for months and then you just go in and out occasionally, you don't have on air conditioning and stuff, it will start to mildew some. Mold and mildew will grow on anything down here.
We can't buy our feed ahead of time. I mean, I went to the feed store and bought like 5 bags of feed from my cows and set them in my barn. And by the time I got to the 3rd bag, they had done started getting mold in it. And the 4th bag, I ended up having to pour out in the woods, and the 5th bag still sitting in the shop completely molded over. I mean,
which is not cost productive for us.
Right.
So we have to buy feed in smaller amounts.
Yeah.
And we can't hold on to it. Anything that we sit outside will mildew. The outside of our house has mildew on it because of, pollen too. And then it'll mildew. You have to go through pressure washing stuff on a regular basis to keep it spiffy looking. That bugs, somebody was asking about what do we do about ants. We just live with them for the most part. Ants is one of those things that it's very hard. There's so many of these, what do you call them, imported fire ants?
Yeah, they're imported fire ants. You have what's called regular fire ants, and then you have imported fire ants.
Yeah. So, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, we have a lot to deal with, even our plants, where people up north have a dry area. My plants will get mildew in a heartbeat. In my greenhouse, all my English peas were beautiful. We've had this past week has been a rainy week. It's been
real rainy.
The humidity is like 90 to 100% every day, and my plants already are starting to get
powdery mildew.
Yeah, that on the bottoms of them, and they're just now starting to produce. So it's really hard. Somebody's saying dehumidifiers in enclosed buildings. Yes,
we have a dehumidifier in our cellar.
Yeah.
The problem with the dehumidifier, if you turn it on, it gives off heat. And where the cellar right now is at about 55 degrees, if I turn the dehumidifier on to get the humidity out of the cellar, it'll be 70 and 80 degrees in there within an hour because of the heat that thing gives off.
Galaxy, I do have the DMSO. I do have some of that. I think that's a really good homestead something to have. It was really originally set up, I think, for horses and stuff, but it was
originally created for horses.
It works for humans, just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, Grizz. Let's see. Put a fan on them. We keep fans going on most anything. We have fans in the greenhouse and stuff.
Yeah.
But you fight humidity. I mean, our carport, the she shed that we just built, most days it's just as dry as it can be. We can get up, it'll be totally dry. The sun can go under a cloud and it starts coming up a rain. It doesn't even have to rain. It can just be cloudy and the humidity coming from the coast or wherever it's coming from, and my whole she shed is wet. The floor is soaking wet.
The water standing all over.
And it's not raining.
It ain't raining. It's just, you look outside, it's just a little bit cloudy, and the wind starts blowing just right, and all of a sudden the slab underneath the carport just turns to nothing but water. You'll slip down and bust your tail if you're not careful.
Yeah, and that's why we can't leave the doors and windows to the house open all the time, or all the moisture comes into the house. We keep the cabin shut most of the time for that purpose. If we left the doors open all the time, the air would come through. It would. Our floors will buckle in here. After Katrina, you said they did, right?
Yeah. Lee wants to talk about building a cordwood home in the south. If you're going to do that, you better make sure you're using something like red oak and it has no sap on it. You want the heart or something like post oak or red oak, live oak, something like that, because if you use anything else, it's just going to rot. I'm just going to be honest with you. It will rot if you don't have the heart.
Yeah. Borax in the wash will get mold and mildew off clothes. Now, I don't really ever have any problem with mold and mildew in any of our clothes. We've not, I guess this house, the air conditioning keeps it dry. And when we have the wood heater going, it's definitely dry in here. We don't have a problem. But I do know some people have a lot of problems, especially if you throw wet clothes in with your dry clothes, in like if you have wet towels and washcloths and stuff, and you put it in your washroom and you don't wash your clothes very often, like once or twice a week, it will start mildewing. But I wash clothes almost every day, so I don't have that problem.
Okay, tons of things have gone by, guys. I can't catch up with all of them.
You have to repost.
Danny, have you heard about the avian influenza spreading? I have in foreign countries. Now, I haven't heard about it in the United States per se. There's so many things. Gosh, what can I say? What I can't say. There's so many things going on in the world right now that I'm going to probably cover some of it on Patreon this coming week. And maybe Porch Time, I'm going to talk a little bit about some stuff as much as I can get away with. Because there is a ton of stuff that's actually happening in the world right now. And the thing about it is nobody's talking about it. Well, they're talking about some of it, but they're not talking about the root cause of it, I guess you might say.
Okay, Porch Time.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm sitting here. There was so many that went by. Patricia says taro is fantastic for fire ants. We don't use any kind of ant poison around any of our where we raise our vegetables at, because a lot of times vegetables will actually take these poisons up and take them into the plants. And if you, a lot of times these poisons, if you read on them, they will say, do not plant, around gardens or vegetable crops or anything like that. Can I plant potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket in the Middle Tennessee now? Probably not. It's probably still too early in Middle Tennessee because we can't plant them. For another 2 weeks?
We could plant them now.
I mean, we could plant them now.
It's just cold.
It's just, I'm gonna wait another 2 weeks to do mine.
Get rid of this cold spell.
Let this cold spell get behind us.
All right. Tonga volcano, something cooler times coming. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tonga volcano, it did go around, I don't know, it was around 20,000 feet or something like that, I think. It was
190,000.
I'm sorry, 190,000, 200,000 feet, yeah.
Yeah. You knew it had a 2 in it.
I knew it had a 2 in it somewhere. The thing about Tonga is really a small volcano. We have, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about this on Porch Time this week, but we actually have 3 super volcanoes that are all underwater. And
When should I prune?
We'll probably talk about that more on Porch Time this week.
When should I prune fruit trees in Ohio?
You prune fruit trees anytime they're dormant. It can be in the fall if it's dormant, but I like to do mine about this time of the year, because when you cut the limbs off this time of the year, you're pretty close to spring, and the cut begins to heal over pretty quickly. And you want to do it before the sap starts coming up in it.
Somebody was saying they ordered some of the lids. I did a video today on lids that I had gotten from 4 jars. And I had a lot of people say, where are they made? And they are made in China. They are China-made lids. It's an American company, but China-made lids. So I went back into the video and posted a comment because so many people were worried about that. And a lot of your lids are coming from China now.
Almost all lids are coming from China.
Almost everything you buy is coming from China.
Almost everything is now. I mean, that's the sad part about it.
We have little things made in the USA anymore.
Yeah.
You do have some USA-made companies, but they can't handle the volume that is needed in the U.S. anymore.
Nadia says, Danny, how do I treat fungus on my eggplant leaves? Probably with some sort of a copper fungicide would probably be the route that I would go if you're trying to get rid of a fungus off of leaves on something.
Yeah.
Actually, Yellowstone is truly, if you want to be honest about it, Yellowstone is really not a super volcano. Yellowstone is actually a small volcano compared to the other 2 or the other 3 that is actually in the ocean. They're actually under the ocean, and they are. Let me put it to you this way: if one of them was to erupt, you would probably have as much dirt in the atmosphere as 3/4 of Australia, the whole country of Australia. It would blow that much stuff into the atmosphere. And just think about that. 3/4 of the country of Australia. That's a lot of stuff in the air that's blown into the air that would have to come down. I mean, that's how big these super volcanoes are.
Okay, you gotta get off volcanoes.
I know it. Man, it's just, I
keep telling him he can't stay on this stuff all the time, and he does anyway. So anyway, y'all, everything comes from China, just about it. You're gonna have to look
question
slow
asker
and hard.
Said they heard that China closed all their ports today. They don't know.
I hadn't heard that yet.
I have heard something about it, but I can't prove it. I did hear it.
He hadn't had time. He was making juice.
I've been making cornmeal and grinding stuff and making muscadine, scuppernong juice today. I haven't had time to look up nothing, but I do know that there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. So far with these jar lids, I've really what I've used, they seem to be working. They seem to be doing great. Everybody I've talked to that's used them says they do great. Danny and I noticed they're thicker and just seem to hold. I mean, we'll know. I'm not going to tell you to go buy any. If you don't want them, don't buy them. But for now, I'll keep trying them. We've got lard and stuff coming up, and I'm going to be canning some pork and stuff like that. And I'm going to be doing some every time I can. I'll do 2 every time I can, and I'm sticking all of them to the side and just keep an eye on them. Now, I saw somebody said something about jar lids rusting. They got some no-name, I think Jan did. She said she got some and they had already started rusting. And she's in Canada and she has a lot of humidity like we do. And that's a big deal here in the South, is the humidity and the jars rusting. I've not had too much trouble since I've been here with the jar rusting, unless it's about 5 years old. But in the last 2 years, I've noticed things that we've put up within 6 to 8 months, the tops are starting to try to rust already. And that's crazy. And these are ball lids. And they're already trying to rust.
Okay. Let's see here.
Somebody said the lids they got from China warped all over the place. If you get those really thin ones, y'all just, I don't know what to tell you, but
yeah, you can't. Some of the lids coming from China are like paper thin. Mm-hmm. These lids are really very thick, and that was my first thing. I was like, I don't know as thick as they are. I don't know if they're going to hold up, if they're going to pop down like they need to. But so far, they've been doing good. Yeah.
And Jan's right. It's better sometimes just to buy a whole new case of jars.
That's that's usually what we do.
We did that this past year when we would go in places. They wouldn't have lids, but they would have some jars. And I needed more pint jars, so we just buy the whole case.
See, Angie's right. Angie, the only place that we use the gold lids is if we're making jams and jellies. If you use them anywhere else, they will rust in no time. And Christy said her ball lids are starting to rust. Mm-hmm. Yes, because Ball quit using the zinc coating on the lids on the outside, and they are starting to rust. If you'll notice, the boxes will say now that they're only good for 18 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Joanne says some of her balls lids that she canned last summer are starting to rust. Mine are too. I was very disappointed in the ball lids for that. They've all sealed, and I've not had any. But now I did get one company send me some lids, and I didn't do a review on them. I would have had to done an extremely bad review because two exploded in the canner, let's put it that way. And I just got the canner up to pressure. It wasn't like it was under a lot of pressure and had been there for a while. I had just got it up to pressure. I can't even remember if I put the thing on or not.
You had just put the thing on and it exploded. Thank you, Ron. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. But we did contact them, and we had to send the jars, the content, and everything back to them.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to have replaced some stuff, and they didn't. I've not heard from them again.
We hadn't heard from them. They never replaced us. They never paid for anything that they said they'd pay for.
They just got their stuff back and went away.
And they just went away.
And I'm not going to tell you a name, but they have blue instead of red under the seals. So
if you got
beware of the blue ones.
Beware of the lids with the blue under the bottom.
The blue rubber. That's all I'll say about that. Where did you get the meal you were using to make cornmeal?
We raised our own corn.
No, the meal, the Victoria.
Oh, the meal. I thought you said the meal.
The meal.
No, mill.
The
meal. Not meal, mill. We got it from Premier Okay, it depends on which mill you're talking about. Yeah. If you're talking about the hand cranked one, it's a Victoria mill. We got it off of
a subscriber sent it actually.
Actually, it was a subscriber that sent it to us, and then they make several different ones of these now. They make a cheap version, and they make a really good. This is a really cast iron one, so you gotta kind of be careful. Some of them are aluminum based. This one's cast iron. It's really heavy. And the subscriber who sent it to us did a really great job picking it out because it does a fantastic job.
Yeah. Okay. I heard somebody say they use Golden Harvest with success. Now, I used to use Golden Harvest all the time and had no issues, but I just haven't bought them.
We only use Golden Harvest lids now for canning things like jams and jellies and stuff. Yeah.
They do really well for that. Now, pressure canning, I've been always using Ball because like the other day I canned meat and it was an hour and a half. So I don't like putting a cheap lid on an hour and a half pressure canning. Yeah, Danny corrected me on my southern drawl. Meal and meal is the same thing.
No, it ain't.
Whether it's cornmeal or you was grinding corn with a meal.
No. One is ill and one is eel.
Really?
For somebody who's as good with English as you are,
that's good.
I would think that you would have known better than that.
When you talk, though, cornmeal and cornmeal sound alike.
They do sound alike.
Especially when I say it.
Oh, let's see here. Question. Sleep with the angels, Danny. I bet you a pound of home ground grits and parental nerve issue, not a sprain. Rest therapy, chondroitin and praying for the nerve injury.
Dr. Susan.
Dr. Susan. Susan, I'm just going to call you Dr. Susan.
That's why she's
how this actually started was I was on my knees, and when I went to stand up, my leg locked and it popped. And when it did, I went into instant pain. Yeah. And then after about a week or two, it kind of let up and went away, and I could walk and had no pain. I mean, it was fine. And then all of a sudden, it locked again and popped, and it started back into the pain. And then whoever it was that prayed for me that night, it got better. And the next day, I actually hung it in the truck door and messed it up again. And then it got better.
I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at y'all's comments.
So I don't know if that's a nerve or a torn meniscus or a sprain. I mean, the doctor took my leg and he pushed in on it. He pulled out on it with no pain. He pushed on it with no pain. He kept pulling on it. He folded it up with no pain. But when he grabbed it and went to move it from side to side,
Danny hollered.
I hollered because it hurt bad when he moved it from side to side. So he said that he didn't think it was anything tore real bad. He said it just looked to him like I sprained it like an athlete's sprain on the side of the knee, like getting hit from the side. So I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm at. That's why I think I might need an MRI eventually. I don't know.
Yeah, we're just going to see. What type freeze dryer do you have, and can it be used for most? We have a Harvest Right freeze dryer. Ours is a medium freeze dryer with a Premier pump. We still have to change the oil about every 25, 30 times, something like that, but it's not a big deal to do. And we really like it. We're not having much problems with it. I try not to use it like it's been, if it's really, really raining and the humidity is really, really high, I wait till sunny days to use it. That way it doesn't affect the machine. It affects when I take it out and I start to process it, because if there's a lot of humidity hanging in the air, it gets into your food. So we're just learning to work around our humidity. That's another problem with humid areas when you have a freeze dryer. But so far, most everything we've done, we love.
Okay.
Doing carrots this week.
Susan, what do they do because she said the nerve is on the right, on the outside of the knee.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, side to side. Get an MRI now. I mean, what do they do for it? I mean, that's my question. If I go pay X number of dollars for an MRI, are they just going to tell me to put a knee brace on and stay off of it? Or is it a surgery? Or what is it that they have to do for this nerve you're talking about?
Yeah, I told Jan about the freeze-dried eggnog. Y'all hadn't shared that one with y'all yet, but Jan at Not a Real Farm is freeze-drying eggnog tonight because of me. It is really good. Just saying. I did it because I heard Kevin and Sarah do some at Christmas, and I'm thinking, eggnog. I got lots of eggs. I need to make eggnog. So I tried one tray of it a couple of weeks ago, and y'all, it's really, really good.
It's just spray some WD-40 on your knee. It'll loosen it right up. I have actually heard that, you know.
I think that'd be a good idea. So do y'all have any questions about heat, humidity? The only way to survive the heat?
Will you talk about how to survive what's coming in our future, Judy said. Some things I can talk about, some things I can't talk about, Judy.
The high-dollar quarterback injury. It will heal. Okay, so we hadn't hit heat yet. How do we survive the heat in the Deep South?
No surgery, brace, rest. Lidocaine can help, but take care of it ASAP.
He's got a brace.
I have a brace on right now. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing a brace, and I'm beginning to wonder if the brace ain't making it hurt worse than it did without the brace on.
Okay. Talk about heat. How we deal with heat.
How do we deal with the heat? Well,
we turn the air conditioner on and come inside.
I knew you was going to say that. That's why I was just sitting here being patient.
I have a fan at all times. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron. Vietnam War veteran biogas help pain any dog internal bleeding. So I just gave
preppers in here a treasure bit of knowledge.
Okay.
Nota ginseng. I'll have to look that one up.
The way we deal with heat in the Deep South, I wake up around 4 o'clock every morning. I mean, it's something I've always done. My daddy made me get up early, and I used to have to drive tremendous long distances back and forth to work, and I had to get up early to do that. I ran my own companies my whole life, and when you run your own companies, you have to learn to get up earlier than everybody else, you know. So, rule number 1, get up, eat breakfast, go take care of your animals, and go out and work in the gardens. Do all your work before 9 o'clock in the morning, because around 9 o'clock, you need to come back in and do things inside in the shade or in air-conditioned buildings or something other until later in the evening, and then late in the evening we go back out right before dark and we finish up our work like that way.
Yeah. And in order to keep the house at a reasonable level, we do have air conditioning. The cabin, we do not have air conditioning. We stay over there a good bit in the summer. We have ceiling fans that we run off our generators. Or
I'm sorry. I had to laugh at Grizz.
What's he saying?
Grizz said, if your doctor schedule a colonoscopy for your knee, get another doctor.
Yeah, I would too.
Oh, man.
But at the cabin, we do not have air conditioning. So when we go over there and stay, we just have fans. And we usually leave the doors open in the late evening. We don't leave them open like all day so that anything, but we do have fans. We can open the windows. We found over there it's not so bad compared, because it's a small area. Danny built it in a way that the air moves better than this house does. This house wasn't built for...
This house wasn't built to be run
It was built for air conditioning.
This house was built for air conditioning. Yeah, definitely.
Without air conditioning, if you don't have the air conditioner on for very long here, even the floors in the living room will buckle. They'll lay back down, but they'll buckle until you dry it back out. It's weird.
Mopar Man, our cabin is ran on a 12-volt system. and a generator. It can run either way. All I got to do is flip a switch, and I can run off of the solar system, or I can run off of the generator. The ceiling fans would have to be run off of an inverter on the inside from the 12-volt system, because they are not 12-volt ceiling fans. They are 110-volt ceiling fans.
And Wanda has a handy-dandy fan, hand fan.
Yeah.
We have several of those.
Oh, my eyes itching.
We also have, Danny's daughter gave us these things, and I don't know what they're called. Some of y'all may know. But you wet them, and it makes them and put them in the refrigerator, and it cools them off, and you can put them around your neck. It's like a towel type thing. It's a gel, really, and it stays cool for hours, and it can keep your neck cool. And if you can keep your neck cool, you stay cooler during the day.
Susan, the brace that I have on is a sportsman's type brace. It's made out of a elastic type material. I mean, it's really tight.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Wanda had to go back and take one back and get another one, because I went to pull it up on my leg and it was too tight. And so I have one on now, and I don't sleep in them. But I have it on right now just simply because I haven't had a chance to, we're doing a live stream and I'm not ready for bed yet. So when I get ready for bed, I take it off. But it is a very stretchy but very hard to pull. She bought it at a sports place. It has a pad that goes right underneath my kneecap.
Yeah. So what else? The animals, how do we keep them? The pig has water.
Yeah.
Danny keeps water for the pig.
I keep water for the pigs
to waller
in all the time.
But he won't be here for the summer.
No, we don't raise pigs in the summertime, first of all.
But it's still hot during the winter here most of the time.
Well, the fall, it gets pretty warm in the fall. But
the chickens, we keep water on them all the time. They get to move around a lot, so the chickens we don't worry about. Chickens are pretty easy unless you have them all congregated in a small area. The cows, they know how to find them a cool spot. If you ever see a cow, they find a cool spot.
They stay under the trees down in the bottom of the swamp area down in there. They stand in the water. They just stand in the water all day.
Yeah, so they find some place. So the animals we don't worry about getting too hot. Now, when we had rabbits, we would not breed rabbits during the summer.
Right.
And we would only keep a mom and a dad, or two moms and a dad. And at one point when we had rabbits, it was one of the hottest summers we had, and I think we put a fan on them, didn't we, for a little while, because it just got too hot. That was the summer it was extremely hot.
Josh asked, do I like bare-rooted or potted fruit trees better? I prefer the bare root. Okay, a proper brace is another issue. You need to have the brace made by a professional. Can't let this go.
So you'd have to find a professional.
I don't even know if we have it. We don't even have nobody around here. I'd have to drive hours away from here to find anybody who even done that.
Yeah. Somebody, Starla says, here we are more worried about staying warm. We have 2 homes and neither one have heating systems. Yeah. We don't worry too much about how to stay warm. Pretty much the wood heater here keeps this one okay. And over at the cabin, we have a fireplace that does pretty well. It's small, so a fireplace will keep it. But now if we were up north, we would have a wood heater in the cabin because it would take it.
Mr. Ray said, how much did your pigs weigh when you bought them? They were what, 25 to 35 pounds?
Less than 50, yeah.
That was like 30, I think, because I paid for 35 pounds.
Yeah.
But I don't think they were quite that big. I mean,
probably about that.
They were little small pigs. We carried them in a little small cage home. But they grow, they grow them fast, really fast.
Yeah.
Sports Ortho Dr. Dan, y'all have to understand.
We'd had to go to Hattiesburg.
Where we live at, there are no specialists. Let's put it that way. All we have is little primary care doctors where we're at here, and a hospital that has a makeshift emergency room. And
A couple of beds.
A couple of beds in it, yeah. We have to drive a long way to get to a really good hospital.
What's your favorite food done in the Harvest Dry freeze dryer so far?
My favorite food done in the Harvest Right freeze dryer so far? That's a good question. Probably that roast you done was really good.
The roast was really good.
The roast was amazing.
It's shocking.
Really shocking.
Vegetables, the English peas was really good because they were just like fresh. The carrots has been like fresh. I like the eggs. We scrambled eggs when our chickens quit laying. I took one pack out, and for a couple of weeks we used eggs, made a few scrambled eggs here and there and stuff, and they did just fine. I didn't have any problems. They weren't as fluffy, I guess, and maybe I should have let them sit a while and fluffed them up a little more or something, but they still tasted good. And I like the eggnog. I thought that was really good. Some of the, like the ice cream, I wasn't crazy about the ice cream and stuff. I wouldn't be I want my ice cream cold, so I just didn't like that. So we've had quite a bit. Yeah, the carrots were really good. We did 2 batches already in them earlier this week, and then I will do 2 more batches. It was so cold till I shut it down, and we'll wait till it starts warming back up. I did the key lime. Oh man, it was so tangy. It was like, whoa. But the key lime was still good. But it's tangy, I'm telling you.
Susan said, next appointment, ask your doctor about that nerve. A physical exam will send you up the roof. Someone makes braces. Should not wear over the counter for a long time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, my doctor told me that if it didn't get any better within the next week or 2, just to call him back, and he would call the doctor in the town way up north of us here, and he would set me up an appointment for an MRI. And I trust this doctor because my brother's wife works for him. Wanda's brother used to work for him, so I mean, I think he would be a good doctor to use.
Yeah, he's done surgeries in my family for many years.
Ron wants to know, did you get his last book?
Yes, I don't know if it's sitting here. I don't forgot where I put it, Ron. I did read it. We mentioned it on a live stream. I think we showed it on a live stream right after I got it. What was the one thing in it? I've read so much since then. You have to forgive me because I can't remember. He told how to make, the ashes. How to do, what's it called? Take ashes and make, what's the next step?
I ain't read it yet.
I know, but we talked about this on live stream. I know that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The next potash, or what was it? How to make some kind of ash. Ron, what was it? That was interesting because I'd never seen that part done before. I guess I've never really looked it up.
Heather says, wow, we never know what doctor we get. I don't go to just any doctor. I choose my own doctors. If I walk in somewhere and they tell me I got to see a certain doctor, I'll turn around and walk out.
Laura, we don't have to wear masks or we didn't.
No, we don't wear.
They didn't ask.
I've never worn a mask, and I don't plan on starting.
The doctor wasn't wearing a mask.
The doctor didn't wear one. Now all the nurses and everybody else in there were, but we didn't.
Activated charcoal. That's it. Activated charcoal. I knew it was something.
Yeah.
I'd never seen the process for activated charcoal, but Ron Foster's new book has it step by step in it.
You might need to put a piece of wood in the fireplace.
Do we need it?
Yeah, I can tell. The temperature in here is starting to change. I can tell. Do we coat our potato starch in anything or just go with it? We our potato starch we we let them cure for about a week or maybe a little bit better. But if you don't have time to do that, you can actually you can use peat moss, or you can use sulfur or something like that to coat them with before you actually plant them. Do we milk our cows and make cream and butter? Right now we don't. We have one that we can, but we don't do it right now. Susan said, I make salves, but this needs more than the strongest that I can make.
All right. Whew.
T. Damon says, I'm sending it Monday if you say yes.
Sending what?
I think it was, the comments go by so fast, but Damon, if I'm correct, you said you had a brace. I would like to try it. I would say yes, that I would like to try it. He said he had a really good brace.
Okay. Our P.O. box is in the link in the description.
Yeah, it's in the link in the description.
Yeah. Do you have a video on what soil to use in a pot for growing carrots?
Not for growing carrots.
But he's working on.
I'm working on a book right now. I have about 95% of it wrote. I got a few more things to put in there, and then it's Ms. Wanda's baby after that. She's actually going to take it and put it into book form for me, and then we'll take it to the printing company, and they will actually have to build a system to make it just like they did the other books, and we'll be able to have that book out and in circulation, and it is
not quickly,
not very quick, but it's going to be about planting carrots. It's going to be a book on carrots. Now we have one on sweet potatoes, we have one on English peas. This one's going to be on carrots.
I wish I could have it out now because I know people are going to need it shortly, but I have somebody in the house that keeps inventing things for us to do, and so and it's tax time. I meant to have our taxes halfway done by now, and I've done 1 month, and y'all, I'm just slow. Is Donovan in a new home? Yes.
Yes.
We also have
Betty.
Betty.
Betty will be going up for sale in about a month. We'll be putting her up for sale.
So if anybody needs a full-blooded Dexter cow female, we'll see if we can't do that. Just let us know. But the carrot book will be sometime in the future. Is all I can say. We got a lot to do.
Susan said, I was on the porch with you early one morning a few days ago, and I knew you were in pain that morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, do you think the med beds will help your knee? I don't know what a med bed is, so I can't answer that honestly.
Yeah, Betty is a good-looking calf.
Betty was born to Dixie. She's the one that we have the birth on our YouTube channel here. You can go back and watch. It's a black calf born to Miss Dixie. We actually filmed the whole birth.
She's the only one that we've got to witness the birth. We usually find them the next morning, but she actually had hers during the day.
Yeah.
I'm not slow, you're just too busy. Hard to concentrate. Exactly.
Sinclair said, Grizz, maybe Danny's just getting to be a lame horse and we have to put him out to pasture.
What was
I feel like that, Sinclair. I really do.
What was it I called you? I was filming him doing something today and I said, Chief Lame Leg.
Yeah, she was going to call me Chief Lame Leg.
Mainly because he was being bossy and I called him Chief Lame Leg.
Yeah.
Danny got a kick out of it anyways.
Yes, Chris, I would recommend Dexter's over any other breed out there. They can survive on sticks. I mean, they'll eat leaves off of trees in the woods. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I bought some really expensive hay, high quality hay. The Dexters do not like it. They would rather have the old weedy clover hay that I bought at a decent price any day than they had this expensive, good-looking hay that I bought.
Okay, so let's see. It's after 9 o'clock. If y'all want to start,
Is it? It is after 9
putting
o'clock.
up prayer
Wow.
requests. We have had quite a few people that have tested positive. Just ask prayer for anybody that's got this virus that's going around, and especially Mr. Keith Winslet. Lippy, do you have any news on Mr. Keith today? He went into the hospital yesterday. I'll try and see if she pops up anything new on Mr. Keith, but him and his wife Wanda had it. They've been subscribers for ours for at least 2 or 3 years, I know, and this is his second time having it. He had it back in 2000, and
Lotus, I've never had cracker cattle. I don't know anything about them.
he's in ICU and sedated. Okay. Seems like there's been other people. We've heard of a lot of people over the last few weeks that do have something going on, whatever it is, and so it is going around. Barrett had it this week, and now his wife has it. One of his sons had it, and Lippy and Buddy had it this a little over a week.
Oh man, yeah.
They're getting back to normal again.
Jan said her hubby's surgery went well, so that's a praise.
Yes.
So okay, we got. Okay.
Husband goes in for a biopsy next week. That's Joe Mama.
Guys, there's more people had this virus in the last
Verna says
6 months than I've ever seen in my life.
her and her husband have it, and now. Anybody heard from Prepper Preacher? No. I do know Grow Family. Bev put up a video on her channel, Living with Bev, today. I don't know that King's put one up yet on Grow Family Network, but they are getting back to normal, I think. They had it pretty rough. I think they felt really bad for a while. It's hit Russ Mountain household. Not too bad, but they did have some. Everybody.
Wow. Danny, is it true you can heat a greenhouse with a 50-gallon barrel of water in the wintertime? Deborah, if you had 2 or 3 55-gallon drums of water painted black and the sun came out and heated your greenhouse up pretty hot and the drums got hot, they would be able to heat a greenhouse for quite a while. But you've got to have a good sunny day and that greenhouse has got to get warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, they're saying Prepper Preacher, he's sick and his wife also.
Yeah.
Okay. Blue Ridge says their nephew died from it at 32. There's been a lot of young deaths in their 30s and 40s.
The biggest issue we're finding out with it is if someone goes to the hospital, not to let them do the protocol. Do not take the remdesivir. Don't
you probably
ever.
shouldn't have said that word either.
Well, I know I probably shouldn't have.
But anyway, the R word.
Yeah, that just do not let them do the protocol on you. You know, that's the main thing if you go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But anyway, we need to pray or we can jump off here. And we done been way over our time. Didn't realize that.
Lori said that her granddaughter had tried to commit suicide.
There's one said their husband had a heart cath. Okay, so we got to keep all this tonight. Father, thank you for being so good to us this week, Lord, and thank you for giving us all warmth in the midst of all this cold weather that we're having, and I pray for everybody, Lord, that they can stay warm and that this bad cold bout that's going across our country will dissipate now, and we can all get back to our normal everyday routines. And Father, we're praying for all of them who's had COVID and any related viruses, Lord, the Omicron and all the different ones. I'm praying for all of them, Lord, that they can find healing for their bodies and be able to get over this sickness and overcome it, Lord. And Father, there are those that have tons of other physical issues. I mean, they've been almost too many to even remember here tonight, Father. But the great thing about this is you're the great physician who doesn't forget anything, who knows everything. And I'm asking you, Father, to look down upon all the physical issues that was on here tonight, Lord, and just reach out to each and every one of them and touch them in a way that only you can, Father. Give them relief from pain. If they're having pain, Father, just help them to be able to overcome and to be back to their normal selves as quickly as possible to provide for their families, Lord. And Father, many have other physical issues. I know lots of them said they've had some knee problems and there's some back problems, Lord. I saw it, just all kinds of problems I've seen going through here, Father. I'm praying for all of those. And not only that, Lord, we have to pray not only for our physical side, but we have to pray for our emotional side, because with all the things that's going on in the world around us, lots of people are suffering from anxieties, depression, all types of physical issues like that, Lord. Emotional issues is the one thing that we tend to overlook, and it's just as real as a physical issue is. And we do pray for those people, Father, that they can find the peace that passes all understanding and be able to get beyond these emotional issues. And another thing is, because of what we're facing in our country, lots of people are losing their jobs. And Father, we want to pray for the financial issues people are dealing with, because when finances get tight and things begin to happen, people begin to panic. And when they begin to panic, they have anxiety and different. So one thing leads to another, Father. So we're praying for the financial issues also. But Lord, the one thing that surpasses all of them is our spiritual side. Father, we're praying for the spiritual side of everybody, that they will come to know you as their personal Savior before it's everlasting too late. And Father, so that when all of this is said and done and we leave this old world, because we know, the Scripture says, when we see the things happening that we see happening, to look up, our redemption draws nigh. And Father, the one thing that bothers me is those that have not prepared spiritually, their redemption will not draw nigh. They will be left here to deal with the horrors and the wrath of an almighty God. And Father, I pray for those people tonight, that they can get their spiritual house in order also. And Lord, just please watch over us as we live in a wicked country that's run by wicked people who's making wicked laws, all for personal and financial gain, Father. We are praying that you will make all of our homes and all of our properties a Goshen in the midst of all this evil that's going on around us, Lord. May we find rest and solitude in the name of the Lord. We ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen. All right. Now,
I forgot a couple of things, really.
Okay.
I gotta remember what they are.
We didn't get nothing in the mail this week, did we? We ain't been to the post office.
Just really hadn't been.
We ain't been to the post office. Okay.
The cups and the tumblers. The cups I probably will not be selling. If I do, I will have to go through Adonai, and she will have to send them out. It's just not beneficial. I'm not making any money, because the cups, time I pay for them and I pay for shipping on the cups is way higher than I thought it would be. Some of the cups, if they go anywhere besides around here, cost me more in shipping than almost time and a half of shipping that I thought I'd have to pay. The tumblers, I probably will order more tumblers, but I need to know who might want one. So before I place another order, send me an email if you're interested in tumblers and tell me what kind of tumbler you want, whether it's the barn, the dirt, the Crazy Days, or the Rise and Shine. I'll take pre-orders on the tumblers over the next couple of weeks and then place an order and get them in, and then you can pay for them on Etsy.
Man, I'm going to get sleepy here. You yawning's done making me get sleepy.
Yeah, I know. It seemed like there was something else besides that, and I don't remember what it was, and I'm not seeing...
I don't see nothing that rings anything.
The podcast. You guys go over and watch. We used to say and watch.
We're used to so much, yeah.
We've started the podcast. Danny started in with a few gardening things, and he's going to kind of continue off and on with gardening as we do gardening, probably throwing up gardening about that. Why don't people pay for their own shipping? They do technically, but what I've done, I just figured the shipping in and just put one price. Like I put $25 on the cups and then I paid for shipping. Now, if you want to pay $15 for the cup and pay for the shipping, then that's fine. But some people are going to be paying $30 plus for a cup. It cost me, I think, $16 to send a cup this week. And I only charged $25, and I paid for them.
No, Traveling Starseed, we do not sell pickled onions. We don't even pickle onions.
I'm working on T-shirts. That'll come shortly. I know the other thing is Crazy Days is going to have its on a new, I guess I should say, logo and a new banner. And I'm going to kind of work on Crazy Days this week. So y'all be ready to see my new logo. I'm really proud of it. I just got it this afternoon and not ready to reveal it yet.
Okay. Guys, we love you. We appreciate you. And we will see y'all in the next videos, my friends. If I can get this thing to turn off.